Welcome back to the channel. Tonight, we journey back to 1865, a nation in mourning, a nation rebuilding itself from ashes and blood. This is the forgotten story of the funeral train of Abraham Lincoln and the ghost it left behind. When President Abraham Lincoln was assassinated on April 14, 1865, the country stopped breathing. The Civil War had just ended, and the man who held the Union together was gone. His body was placed on a special train to make the long journey from Washington, D.C. to his final resting place in Springfield, Illinois. A 12-day farewell across the heart of America. The train carried his coffin, draped in black cloth and white lilies, and beside it the casket of his son, Willie, who had died 3 years earlier. They called it the Lincoln funeral train. It stopped in every major city: Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York, Chicago, and millions came to see him one last time. But somewhere along that somber route, the train picked up something it never dropped off. A conductor named Thomas Becket kept a journal during the journey. In his entry from May 3, 1865, he wrote, "The engineer swore we passed a station that wasn't on any map. No light, no people, just shadows along the tracks. But the bell rang twice, as if someone had just climbed aboard." The very next night, passengers began reporting strange sounds coming from the last car, a rhythmic knocking, and a faint humming of the battle hymn of the Republic. When the train finally reached Springfield, one porter refused to go inside that car ever again. He claimed it was colder than a winter's night inside, and that the coffin's reflection in the window showed 2 men standing beside it, not one. After Lincoln's burial, the funeral train was dismantled. Its cars were sold off, and its historic route was eventually forgotten by many. But in the years that followed, something strange started happening along that old railway line. Every April, near the anniversary of his death, towns all across the Midwest began reporting the same eerie phenomenon. At midnight, when the wind was still, a train would appear. It was black, completely silent, its engine glowing with a faint blue light, and its whistle would echo mournfully through the fields. Farmers said their clocks would stop the moment it passed. Telegraph lines would go dead. Even dogs, usually alert, refused to bark, and if you were brave enough to stand close to the tracks, you could see men in Union uniforms saluting from the windows. Inside the final car, a coffin covered in white lilies was clearly visible. Fast forward to 1911. A skeptical journalist named Sarah Caldwell traveled to Illinois with a mission to write an article debunking the ghost train myth. She camped near a stretch of abandoned track where sightings were most common, determined to expose it as folklore. At 11:45 p.m., her notes took a sudden turn. She wrote, "I heard no wheels, no steam, but I saw the light. It burned blue and cold, gliding through the fog as if the air itself parted in reverence." She described silhouettes of soldiers standing in perfect stillness, and a tall man wearing a top hat standing beside the coffin. When she blinked, it was gone. But her camera, an early Kodak, had captured something her own eyes had missed: a faint, spectral shape of a train lantern suspended in midair, where nothing had been before. Today, the original railway has been gone for decades. Most of the tracks were removed or buried under modern highways. Yet, every spring, small towns in Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Illinois still host midnight vigils. People gather along the routes Lincoln's funeral train once took, holding candles, waiting and listening. Some might call it mere superstition, a local legend. But others, they have proof. In 1989, a freight engineer passing through Utica, Illinois, reported something baffling. His train's brakes engaged on their own. 3 here at BA. Phantom signal that no dispatcher had sent. He was on an empty track. His cabin camera, however, recorded something incredible. For 6 seconds, the dark outline of an old-fashioned train appeared directly in front of him. His headlights passed right through it. The timestamp on the recording, April 29th. The anniversary of Lincoln's burial. So what does it all mean? Some believe the ghost train is real, that Lincoln, the great emancipator, still travels the land he fought so hard to unite, forever reminding it of the cost of freedom. Others suggest it's a manifestation of the nation's collective memory, a vision of grief, too large and profound to ever completely disappear. But one thing is certain: for over 150 years, No one who claims to have seen that cold, blue light has ever forgotten it. The tracks may be gone, but every April, America still listens for the whistle that once carried its heart home. Thank you for joining me on this journey into one of history's most enduring haunting. If you enjoyed this story, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the mysteries of the past. We'll see you next time.